The critical work of mine clearance is honoured in this new set from ICM. See what you get for your money right here on Gary's Stuff. Hi there, I'm Gary. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. Today I'm having a look inside the box of the Danger Mines box set in 1/35th scale from ICM. If you like the video, and I hope you do, please do remember, give it the old imperial thumbs up on the like button below because every like counts. And to support the channel at no cost to yourself, make sure you've subscribed. Hit the bell and you'll be notified of all my future content as it's published. And of course, if you want to make more contribution, you can do that through my partner programs, details of which are in the information box below. So let's make a start and look at this mine clearance set in 1/35th scale from ICM. It is in the box of Danger Mines. It's Ukraine Summer 2022, a box set from ICM. Logo's up here. Scale is 1/35th and the product code is 35018. Box art depicts the mine clearance team with their vehicle and with their dog, who appears to be wearing a face mask as well, which is really good. Some mines there as well. They're using obviously the metal detector and digging up the mines that they've discovered and defusing them. Very nice piece of artwork, very evocative of the subject. On this long side here, it points out, again, it's from ICM, it's 1/35th scale, and the product code 35018. It says that the box is an unassembled plastic model kit inside, no cement or paint, and there is an instruction sheet with drawings and a decal sheet. Absolutely. There is a QR code here which will take you to the ICM website, and it points out that these kits are for people 14 years or older. That's because there's some very small parts in there. What you get inside the box, it says here, is a ZIL 131 vehicle with a driver, some anti-tank mines, TM62 anti-tank mines. These are the things they're digging up, presumably. There's 3 figures of the sapper unit of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and the figure of a sapper dog, as we saw from the front cover. Body armor, ammo pouches, shovels, mine detectors, so on and so forth. Pixel camouflage for the ZIL 131 vehicle. The kit, presumably the vehicle, is 201mm long, 84mm high, and has 230 parts for the assembly of the truck itself. 48 parts for mines, assembling the mines, so presumably there's quite a lot of them, and also there's ones with and without the fuses attached. And there are 60 parts for the 4 figures and the dog. So on average, what's that? 12 pieces each, on average anyway. On the other long side is a line drawing side elevation of the vehicle with its pixel camouflage, the driver, sapper with his dog, and 2 other sappers searching for and dealing with mines. On the short end, as usual, on one short end here, we have the title again, Danger Mines, Ukraine Summer 2022, reprise of the box art, reprise of the logo, scale and product code, and the same things are on the other short side except they're vertical, so if they're on a shelf on their side, you don't have to crook your neck over to see what's inside, which is jolly nice. Okay, that's what the box looks like. Let's see what we get inside. As is so often the way with ICM, the glossy cover lifts off the top of the interior box. The glossy outer goes like that, and then there's a robust fold up lid in here with a really solid box inside. Really good protection for everything in here. On the top here we have an instruction booklet. We have the big decal sheet for all of the pixel camouflage. I'm sure there's other stuff in there, vehicle numbers and so on and so forth. And as well as that, we have these are for, these look like, well, these are mines, obviously. So this is one a sapper with one of the mines. Is that a sapper or the driver, vehicle driver maybe? With mines, these are the sapper figures and the sapper dog. Then this huge bag here is for the ZIL truck with all of its parts. And lastly, as usual, there's the advert for the ICM water-based acrylic paints, which are all referenced in the instructions, and you can use this to transfer the numbers to other kit or other product manufacturers. But let's have a better look at those. Frame A is the basic chassis of the ZIL truck. So you have the two big chassis rails here as part of the external part of the frame. All of the engine parts, fan here, there's all the transmission parts are here, various bits of suspension, all sorts of bits, fans, fan belts, and all sorts of bits and pieces like that. So basically, that is the core of the construction of the chassis and the engine. Frame B consists mainly of parts of the cab and the engine compartment, things like that, the front end of the vehicle. Frame C is essentially the flatbed with all of its side parts and things like that for the back of the truck. And frame D are some of the smaller pieces, the frame of the seating here, for example, some covers for the lights, the exhaust pipe, and steering wheel. This is frame E, and there are two copies of it, and these include wheels. Frame E is all the clear parts, so windscreen, windows for the cab, rear window for the cab, lights, and so on. And finally, there are a couple of, I guess you'd call them frames, really. These just contain the neoprene style deformable rubber tyres for the kit. Frame G, and again, we get two of them. These are mines with their separate fuses and detonators here, and some pieces so you can make up some boxes to carry them in. As I say, you get two sets of those. There's quite a lot of mines you can use in your diorama or in your kit. Then there is frame H1. This is the seat from the vehicle and the driver, all the parts you need to make the driver, including things like body armor. And finally, there's an unnamed frame. It's got a code of 35753, but it doesn't have any letters to indicate it's part of the kit. And these are the sappers. Over here, the sapper dog, various bits of weaponry, protective clothing, so on and so forth, and the tools of the trade as well. Shovels and the metal detector and the metal probe, Kalashnikov type rifles as well. If we have a look at the plastic itself, on this is probably the largest piece. The expanse is the largest of the vehicle, the ZIL flatbed. You can see there's a few flow lines in the plastic, but nothing that you can actually feel at all. You can't feel it with, say, a thumbnail or anything like that. So there's no relief to it. Once that's primed, you probably won't ever see that again. And everything seems nicely modelled. All those rivets tucked up there inside the siding of the vehicle. Nicely done. I think these are the parts for the mirror assemblies or something like that. Oh, maybe they're not. Maybe they are. I don't know yet. Don't know what they are, but they all seem very nicely done. Occasionally, I don't know whether these are supposed to be there or whether they're ejector pin points, but they're on the inside, so you might not notice them very much. But if you're worried about them, then you might have to fill those in because they look like ejector pin marks, which isn't quite as nice. But everything else is okay. So you may, depending on what you can see when you've done it all, you may need to just fill those over slightly. But who knows? we have a look at some of the detail here, it's really nicely achieved as usual with ICM. All these bolts and bits and pieces are all very good. Have a look at this chassis rail. On this chassis, I'm going to guess that's probably the front suspension unit, because that looks like a much chunkier sort of rear suspension thing. The front suspension is molded on. All the mountings look nice and solid, and you can see all the leaves are individually modelled in all directions, which is very nice. And almost, I can't really see any flash anywhere on any of this stuff. The diamonding on these plates, it's nice, it's good. Engine, by the look of that, looks a bit basic, but then all the bits are separate, so it will look a bit basic. There's the fan assembly there. All these various transfer boxes and whatever, all got nice bolts on them that look good. You know, you can pick those out really easily. I'm sure they're very slightly overscale in some ways, but they're very easy to pick out as a result. Oh, there's the radiator. Again, a couple of ejector pin marks right at the bottom here that might get hidden. That one may be a little bit easier to see, but the bottom two I think will get hidden when you make the kit. Again, more huge amounts of leaf spring. It's a lot of leaf spring there. Yeah, all good. And finally, some more of the detail here. And here on this exhaust, you can see there's a little hint of some mold lines on the edges there. It's going to need to be cleaned off. Steering wheel, as usual, going to be a little bit of a challenge to get out, but that's the way things are. Likewise, these small parts are going to be a little fragile taking out, but they'll be okay. They'll be okay. At least they're sort of well molded. The driver for the vehicle, this figure is here. It looks fairly well molded. Again, it's not too bad. There's some seam lines here you can see in the knees and the legs. I don't know that you can necessarily get rid of that too much, but we can scrape that off and clean that up. We have in the past. The chair for the driver's seat, and all of the bits and pieces, hands, arms, and so on and so forth, for a couple of different types of boot by the looks of things. It's kind of interesting. And different lots of arms. How about that? We have some choices. And last of all, this frame with the sappers and the dog. And the sapper figures are here. And here's the dog. The dog has quite significant bits of flash around the edges of the moulding, which is a bit of a pity. There's a seam line there as well we have to get rid of. So it just makes life a bit more tricky. You can see the flash here around the muzzle as well. Oddly, the rifles look fine. Everything else looks actually quite nice. The body parts here, again, actually quite significant seam lines there. But once again, we're used to getting rid of those. Not the end of the world, but they're quite prominent, surprisingly. The metal detector part here, this arm here is very delicate. We're going to be very, very careful with that. And likewise, the lance, the probe here, you can see it's very delicate, and you can see there's also little bits of mold and molding and marks and flash on there as well. So it's going to be really, really delicate to get off. But otherwise, it's okay. It's all right. Not the best I've seen from ICM, but then not the worst I've seen on figures either. The actual quality of the actual parts is quite nice, and the belt buckles are quite well rendered, and so on. The body armor, there's a face there. Again, a bit of mold line around the edge of the face where the ears are, which is a little odd. I like the slightly rolled up sleeves with the glove, that's nice. So yeah, maybe this mold's been used quite a lot. can see on the arms there. But it's going to need some cleanup. So not the best of the figures I've seen from ICM recently, but certainly very usable. The smaller of the two decal sheet has the Ukrainian national symbols, the instrument panel, decals, and number plates. Whereas the very much larger decal sheet has the fragments of pixel camouflage for the body of the truck. Looking really up close, here's the standard 0.5mm pencil edge. You can see actually that yellow line and the yellow inside the national symbol are very, very nicely done. Yellow's a nasty little colour to try and get right on decals. The instrument panel is, yeah, it's good enough for what we're using. I mean, there is like an overspeed bit of red there for doing on the revs whilst you're driving. But yeah, the plates look nice. It looks sharp enough. The colours look decent. They'll do nicely. Likewise, the decals for the splinter scheme, they're all registered nicely. The colours look good. Everything's fine. And we've seen these on the Cossack 2, and there, in fact, it tells you this is one of the sheets for the Cossack 2. But the splinter camouflage can be used on any vehicle. And there's plenty to choose from, that's for sure. The instruction sheet, very much modern ICM style. On the front is the reprise of the box art. Here there is a description of what this is all about, the mine clearing operations in 2022 in English and in Ukrainian. Tactical and technical specifications for the truck. It's a 5-ton truck. Again, in English and in Ukrainian. There's call-outs for all of the colours they suggest use. These are all the ICM colour numbers. Of course, you can change those relatively simply into pretty much any other scheme. Here we have a translation of all the symbols that are used. And here we have a QR code. This takes you to their YouTube channel. Inside the instruction sheet, the first thing you get, as normal, are the frame layouts. You notice there's only a tiny little bit here that's not being used in this kit, and these arms and these feet aren't being used either. Other than that, pretty much every bit of plastic that you get, you can use for this. And the instructions, as usual, are very straightforward. This is what you do, that's what it should look like. This is what you do, that's what it should look like. It's fairly straightforward. They're not shaded, they're line drawn, but I find them quite easy to follow. And there's a lot of bits and pieces. There's a lot of sort of steps, as it were, because I don't want to just sort of bombard you with too much going on at once. And I find them, quite easy to follow, I must say. All the way through, we go till the very end. At the end, there's a picture of what the truck will eventually look like, and then, of course, the boxes for the mines. Inside of the back cover, we have the 3-view of the truck with its pixel camouflage. What they haven't done is actually told you what any of these numbers are, but I guess you just go through the sheet and pick out what you want, put it where you like, because there isn't the other side of the truck isn't even shown, so you just make it up as you go along. The uniforms of the driver, this just tells you which bits go together to make up the driver, and a sort of a rough idea of what the pixel camouflage looks like there. I don't think I'll get anything like that at this scale, but you can have a go, can't you? And then on the back page are the 3 sappers and the sapper dogs, with all the different bits that go up to make them, all the colours that they use, and then the boxes and the mines themselves as well. So that's the instruction sheet. There it is, an interesting kit with some very nice figures. I love the inclusion of the dog, but some of the moulding is looking very slightly below the usual ICM quality, I think. However, nothing that can't be fixed with a little work, I'm sure. If you liked the video, and I hope you have, please do remember, give it the old imperial thumbs up on the like button below, because every like counts. And if you haven't done so yet, please do subscribe to the channel, hit the bell and you'll be notified of all my future content as it is released. Thanks very much for watching today. Hope to see you again soon on the channel. Take good care now and goodbye.